Good afternoon. Representative Beck, members of the media, and invited guests here today. In just a few more days, Ohio taxpayers will be able to take advantage of an affordable way to pay any eligible taxes administered by the state. The 2012 Ohio General Tax Amnesty Program, approved last year by the Ohio General Assembly, is designed to encourage taxpayers to voluntarily pay taxes incurred and due prior to May 1st of 2011. Those who qualify for amnesty will be required to pay the tax due in full, but will pay no penalty and only half interest. Our hope is that this will incentivize and encourage those, many taxpayers, to come forward voluntarily to clean up any past tax obligations. One other incentive, of course, is that the available time is very short, from May 1st to June 15th. After that, they will be able to come forward. After that, they will be liable for the regular penalties and interest and so on. So we encourage people to take advantage of that opportunity. The General Tax Amnesty covers most state and some of the local taxes, including individual income tax, school district income tax, sales tax, commercial activity tax. There's a separate amnesty program for consumers' use tax, which is going on now, actually, for owed taxable purchases which sales tax had not been paid. Some of the main ones are going to be Ohio individual income, school district income, Ohio employer withholding, the CAT tax, commercial activity tax, sales and seller's use, and a number of others, but those will be the primary ones more than likely. All the appropriate forms, FAQs, and ways to contact the department are available on our website, which is ohiotaxamnesty.gov. The website includes a tax calculator as well to help applicants determine the amount that they owe. We're also reaching out to Ohio taxpayers on Facebook. This is the first time we've used social media to extend our message to the citizens and taxpayers of Ohio. I think it's important to use these communication tools to ensure that citizens are aware of both their obligations and this opportunity to clear up any past debts at the lowest possible cost. The General Tax Amnesty is for taxes that were due, as I said, prior to May 1st, 2011, regardless of how far back they have been owed prior to that. Tax liability is not eligible for the amnesty program if they were identified during a past audit, or if the taxpayer had been notified of a pending audit, or if a billing or assessment notice had been issued for that tax liability in the past. In other words, if the tax department doesn't already have something worked with you through an audit or an assessment or a notice, then you would be eligible. Most, specifically, the Department of Taxation already knows you owe back taxes. Then as a qualifying element. Taxpayers must submit an amnesty application along with appropriate tax filing form. Full payment of the tax debt and interest must be received along with the application. You'll be registered to make payments required to make payments by check, cashier's check, or money order. No credit cards or electronic payments will be accepted for this amnesty program. Amnesty helps well-meaning taxpayers catch up on their obligations and allows the state of Ohio to collect additional tax revenue without raising taxes or tax rates. Similar programs in the past have resulted in millions of dollars of additional tax payments. Many thousands of taxpayers have benefited by paying the tax they owe to the state without any penalties or reduced interest rates. The 2001 Tax Amnesty Program netted the state about $35 million and local governments about $13.5. In 2006, tax collection under amnesty program brought in $52 million to the state and about $6.9 for local governments. Given the changes in tax laws and the fact that we have a separate amnesty program for general tax and consumer use tax, the separate amnesty programs, the state expects to bring in $36 million for this general tax amnesty, and for the state, and about $40.2 million is what our estimate is for local taxes under this general tax amnesty program. As many of you will notice, tax amnesty is available for taxes that were owed and payable prior to May 1st. This was designed specifically so to make certain that taxpayers' most current taxes were being paid on time. That date was, and I've been asked that question about that date, and that was picked during the budget process. That basically set a point at which, prior to that, those taxes would have to have been due and payable, so that people wouldn't hold off making future payments, waiting for the amnesty to come around. So that's basically why that was done. Obviously, the law requires them to pay the taxes on time. Also know that sometimes people are not aware that they owe a certain tax, or that they may have underpaid a tax. So we want to encourage them to come forward and correct their mistakes. So that's the idea, is that we want people to come forward, clean up any past tax liabilities that they may have had, take advantage of this 6-week window, get a reduction in interest and a forgiveness of the penalty. After that is all over and tax amnesty period is over at the end of June, then we'll go back to a regular process, and unfortunately if someone had underreported or not reported in the past and is picked up in an audit, then they would be susceptible to full penalty and interest charges. So it's much cheaper for them to come forward now during this time period to do that. I'd like to take a second to recognize Representative Peter Beck, who represents the 67th Ohio House District and chairs the Ohio House Ways and Means Committee. He was very supportive of this program as it went through the General Assembly. As you may know, Representative Beck is a certified public accountant. He has been a certified internal auditor, bank auditor, financial services auditor, and among his many honors is recognized by the House Society of CPAs as a public servant.